All right, so here we go for mission 2. A couple of things. At the end of last mission, I drew 3 dogfight cards for free. And you actually don't get to draw 3 dogfight cards for 3. You get to draw 2. So the first 2 I draw were these 2. And the third one I drew was this. So I am playing with the optional player character. And if he gets shot down and lost, you lose the game. So what I started in the rules initially was to give them a dogfight card or a fate card. And I'm thinking that if they use it, they should be able to continue to get another one. So I'm giving the third dogfight card that I drew to him for his personal use. So his aircraft's damaged right now, so he can't come in for this turn. So hopefully we can get him back in the game later. Another thing that I didn't explain last time was we drew the Lucky Day counter. Lucky Day, if you've got an experienced or green pilot, you give this to them, and the rest of the mission, they get +1 on their experience die rolls. If you don't have an experienced or green pilot in your group, it becomes an unlucky day. And you randomly give it to one of your aces or veterans, and they have a -1 for the rest of the mission. So kind of rewards the player that is using their entire roster. All right, so we're on to mission 2. We've got 2 aircraft. This guy is waiting for his evading pilot, or his wounded pilot, to recover. And we need to repair both those airplanes. I've got, 4 experienced, 2 veterans, and the ace that I drew off of the post-mission card last time. We're sitting at -1 campaign point. So let's go ahead and start and roll for the weather. We use a 1d8 for Odessa as opposed to Stalingrad, which uses a 1d6. The weather was horrific in Stalingrad, so the 1d6 applies. It was a little bit better at Odessa. 5 to 6 light clouds. All right, we'll draw our mission. Cap Romanian forces. So we get 4 fighters. And we roll on C8 to determine the axis, where the Axis ground forces are at. And we start 1 sector from that location, beginning with the flight phase. So let's go ahead and roll on C8. 3. On C8, so J3 or J5, it's my choice. So J3 or J5. Let's go with J5 since it's a straight line. So we're heading there. We start 1 hex from there. And let's start over. See, I could start over their airfield, which could be bad, or I could start over the water. I could start over Odessa, which would be horrific. Let's start over the water. Okay. And we start with the flight phase, so we'll roll for an event once we get that. Once we get to the location, we'll roll on C8 for the Soviet forces, and then a ground target. Return to base normally. All right, so we'll roll for an event. 6 over the Black Sea. Flight event. 6. Sea sighting. D9. Well, this is interesting. Haven't done this before. On that. 3. Clear sky is no enemy. So nothing. All right. So we move to the location. And we roll on C8 to see what the Soviets are bringing to the fight. 5. 4 DB3s and 2 fighters from X. So we'll see where the fighters are from. 6. The 9th. So let me get those. I'll be right back. Okay, so I forgot to say which 4 aircraft I was taking for my Romanians. So I'm taking my ace and my 2 veterans and an experienced. So the Soviets got their 4 DB3s, and we'll give them all ordnance. We rolled for our ground target, and it was Romanian armor. So they get an AA of 2, and they take 6 damage. And I rolled for surprise. I rolled a 6, but the highest Soviet pilot experience is an experience, so we've got 1 more, so we get a +1. And we're all fighters, and they're escorting, so we get another +1, so it becomes an 8. So we got +1 to our initiative rolls, which were terrible. But we still have freedom of action with the first one. So, he can do pretty much anything he wants. Can't attack this guy, but he can attack anyone else. An experienced pilot. I think he's going to go after this fighter. I could go after one of the bombers, but if he takes some damage on the return fire, it's probably not worth it with him being experienced. So we'll go ahead and give it a shot. Miss. So he's done. He's done. He comes down, even or odd. Even. He would go after our ace. So we do have the high yo-yo card that we could play. But I want my ace to get a chance to fight. So let's hope we can survive an attack. 1. He missed. So he's done. Alright, so we can't go head-to-head against the bomber. So we're going to go out and try to get the, try to get this bomber here. 2, miss. Tail gunner. Miss. Same thing here. 6, 1 hit. He's going to be. The IAR 80s at this time frame had a little bit less 3 firepower than they did at Stalingrad, and that's why they're a B instead of an A. Roll against a 3. He's okay. Tail gunner. Miss. He's done. He's done. He can come down. He can go for the fighter or the bomber. The fighter's a -1, so he's just going to go for the bomber. 3, miss. Tail gunner. Miss. Oh, the bombers don't attack on round 1 as a non-human player. They attack on round 2. All right, that's it. Fighters do not attack ground targets. So we will roll for round 2. Six and 3 is 9. 2 and 3 is 5. Oops. 3 and 3 is 6. 1 and 3 is 4. Man, that was horrible. 4 and 4 is 8. 6 and 5 is 11. Roll for our 2 veterans. 8 and 5 is 13. 6 and 5 is 11. Those 2 are tied. Got our ace. 11 and 5 is 16. And got our experienced. 1 and 5 is 6. That was awful. All right, so freedom of action. He can go anywhere. I think he is going to come down and try to get this bomber right here. Yeah. Oh, miss. And a tail gunner hit. Great. 1. Roll against a 1. Set or 9. He's fine. All right, but he's got to stay there as a potential target. All right, so the Romanians don't bypass to go for bombers. They are under the German doctrine to take out fighters. So he's going there. 10. 2 hits using a B. So 3, 3, 6. Roll against a 6. 1. Flipped him. And 8. Roll against an 8. Oops. 8. Shot down. All right, so roll for bailout. He bails out. Evade. Actually, bails out over water and he's lost. Or, no, he's fine because it was ground. So he evades. So we only get the 2 points. All right, C gets a victory. That was nice. So who was our gentleman flying C? Alan gets a victory. Gets a yak 1. All right, so he's coming down, attacking this bomber here. 1, miss. That was pitiful. Turn fire. Miss. And he's done. All right, so the bomber's coming in. He's going to stay in his location, do a level bombing. Light clouds is -1. And they get a +1, so it breaks out even. So we'll do 2 AA, 7 and a 3. 7 is a -1, so it becomes a 6. 1 level B hit. Three. Roll against a 3. 6, he's fine. Okay, so he attacks. 6. His ordnance is gone. 6 on a 4. Is a hit. So 3. Damage. So that was good for them. Okay, he's coming down here. Eight. 2 hits using a B. 3. 5. Roll against a 5. 8. He's fine. So he's done. So this, our ace is done. And he's going to come down and attack this last bomber here. Risk the tail gunner. Miss. Miss. So he's done. Okay, so he's going to level bomb. So AA. 8 becomes a 7. There's a level B hit. 3. Roll against a 3. 5, he's okay. He attacks. 2, miss. He's done. This bomber AA. 1, 7 becomes a 6, which is a level B hit. 3, 6. Roll against a 6. 7, he's fine. Attacks. 5, miss. So he's done. And he attacks. 7 is a 6, is a level B. 2. Roll against a 2. 8, he's fine. Attacks. 8. Gonna be 4 damage. Destroyed. So, roll for another 7. It's gonna be another Romanian armored column. So we'll just go ahead and put that back in there. Well, actually, it doesn't really matter because there's no more bombing. And we go on to round 3. All right, we'll roll for our 1 and 3 is 4. 7 and 3 is 10. 2 and 3 is 5. 2 and 3 is 5. 7 and 4 is 11. 8 and 5 is 13. 9 and 5 is 14. 17. 7. So that's bad. All right, round 3. So I think even all these bombers are sitting here damaged. I've got to get this fighter from coming after our guy here, which is a crying shame. But we got to give it a shot. 6 minus 1 becomes a 5, so it's a miss, and he's done. Darn it. 2 is a miss. We're going to end up 3 is a miss. He goes after our guy. 5 is a miss. He's done. He's done. So he's going to come down and risk it all and go for this damaged fighter. Or bomber. Miss. Now he gets 2 return tail gunners. Miss. Miss. So he survives. Alright, so we didn't get any of the bombers. We got 1 yak for 2, and they got 1 of our armor, and I've got to look and see how many points that's worth, so I'll be back. So the ground target's worth 4, so we lose 4, gain 2, so it's minus 2 mission points overall. So it gives us minus 2. And now we head back. So I think what we'll do is go here. Nine. Great. There's an in-flight event card. Navigation error. Immediately move 1 flight sector south and 1 west. So 1 south, 1 west. So I guess that wasn't so bad. All right. We'll go here. 3 is nothing. Go here. 4 is nothing. We'll go diagonal. 7 becomes an 8. Is an event. Actually, I wanted an event. 4. Soviet bombers. C7. Roll on C7. 1. Is going to be 1d3 PE2s. Whoops, what am I doing? Wrong card. 1d3 plus 3 PE2s. So 4 PE2s. So let me grab those, and I'll be right back.